Hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube. Welcome back. This is your 16th The Rookie Season 8 episode review. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe out there in the big old world. We're reaching the end of another rookie year. It's sad. It's really, really sad. I don't have much to say. I feel like we've been through this rookie. I feel like it's just be a process for like the rest of time until the rookie inevitably ends. But yeah, and then just start off the year off strong with a lot of rookie. Get to that May spot. We start to wind it down. A little bit. I'm gonna be in a very huge rookie rush the next week. I feel like from the time of filming this all the way down, I'm gonna have to do this review, do two more sets, and then our usual rigmarole as I believe I mentioned this in the last video. I will be heading out for travels starting next week, so I will not be, like, videos will still be uploaded as I'm away, but I will not be physically present for those said videos. So yeah, so we'll be on a bit of a hiatus, so to speak. Well, from a working perspective, it's been a very stressful so far 4 months, and now a little bit of a TLC before I kick it off for the summer. But yeah, but you'll still have your usual rookie end of season rigmarole as always, which I'll get to that momentarily at the very end of this review. But for the time being, with this review specifically, I said before with the last couple rookie episodes, I was very honest with my statement of like, episode 14 was probably a very weird way of, like, if it was somehow the series finale, it would have been a very weird one, but it would have made sense. And then last week's episode, I was very transparent. It was probably my least favorite episode of the whole season, probably one of my least favorite in the whole series, which was really a bad metric to go upon. This week's episode, they hit it back. They really hit it back very hard. It feels like we are going to have a very, like the way by the time we end this episode, it's going to be a quick dash to the finale. It feels like they're setting up things for the entire rest of the season, which is now, after this episode, only 2 episodes. But regardless, we are hitting that stride, and we are hitting that, finally getting back to the golden path of what we've been hitting. And some moments were hilarious, some moments were really shocking, and honestly, it's just quite apparent to see how they might be ending up this season. I'm actually, like, for context, like, I believe when this gets posted, it will be the day before the finale. I will hopefully review the penultimate episode by then, and then I'll go straight into the regular cadence afterwards. So I have no idea. I didn't allude on the rookie side, on the Madlock side of things, that Monica's character, I know what happens to her next episode. I already know. That's sadly the only thing I've been spoiled since my time away. So I was very sad to hear that, but I'm actually very curious to see how they're setting it up. And with this episode specifically, I think they really tee it up pretty well, that it's coming to a close on that run. And honestly, again, gotta make those budget cuts. But with that being said, let's go through the butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of The Rookie. So I want to say we prominently begin with Glasser reverting back to normalcy. Obviously, right now, he's probably being very kept up, delved up right now, of, like, not being able to commit murders, not being able to plan out his next attack, because right now, of course, he's under very heavy watch right now. Like, everyone's watching. He can't do crap. And it bothers him. It's been so long since he's committed a murder, but he's having to return to suburbia, having to return back to quaint living until, things can, ease off on him. Even with his whole neighborhood probably hating the fact that he's back home right now. The mailman's delivering his usual postal work, and a nearby gun shooter shoots in the general direction of Glasser and the mailman, killing the mailman and barely glazing glass, which I'm like, my dude, you have a shot to kill the man, and you miss. That, for context, for the only time I ever shot a gun back in Texas in a shooting range, my aim was horrible, so I can't blame him, to be honest with you. But he drives away, and obviously, he's down. His lawyer's like, "What the hell is going on? Are you okay? Are you still breathing? You good?" Back over at the Bradford residence, Chen is, having a very nice slice of life moment with Bradford. They kind of eased into their own version of suburbia. Coda. I forgot the dog's name. I really did. Kojak? I forgot. But the taking him out, making a new friend. It's just like Tim looks at this as like, this is a beautiful life, and I want to lock it down. So he texts Ginny. We don't see the text, but I definitely know what it is. It's very clear what that indication is. But before sadly he can act on that instinct, they get the call about Glasser. So Bradford, Penn, Lucian, and Bradford responds to the scene, immediately cordioning it off. Obviously, they just assume is Glasser dead, and like, nope, sadly, Glasser's still alive. The mailman's dead, but Glasser's still alive. And they're like, well, that's just wonderful. And it's like, who could possibly want to kill a murderer? It's like, there's so many possibilities right there. So many. So I believe from there they just we're transitioning to an investigation. We need to find out who killed them. So obviously they asked the age-old question, Glasser, who do you think would want to kill you? And Glasser's like, oh please, there's just like so many people on that list. However, they have to transition the investigation inside to pick up the bullets so they could do the casing for it. Obviously the lawyer's like, hell no, you ain't going inside my client's house. It's like, yeah, we do. Yeah, sure, the crime scene is in front of the house, but some of the evidence went inside the house. We are legally obligated and able to go into the house to collect the bullets. So Nolan and Bradford do so. They're surveying around. They do hear some noise. And then when, as they're shooting directly into a doorway, a woman comes out claiming to be Glasser's new girlfriend. Which I'm like, I'm pretty sure this man is just fondling money in front of her. That's all I'm assuming. So yeah, he's got a girlfriend now because his wife divorced him. She left him, and she took the children with him, having temporary sole custody of both of them. But I don't believe we get to see the daughter in this episode. From there, we transition to Wesley's new life. Obviously, the DA's office was over. It was a fun time for Wesley's life, for better or for worse. But he and his former boss have now struck on their own, and I was like, oh shit, we're actually doing this. I thought this was a joke. Not gonna lie to you. No, they struck on their own. They're gonna start their own defense attorney business, trying to get some cases, trying to get some clients in the door. Other thing is they don't have a prominent office space yet. Their last reservation one sadly was condemned, and it's questionable if they're going to get the deposit back. But it's a temporary arrangement as they try to figure out exactly what they could do next. That's when Wesley potentially gets a business call, thinking it's a brand new client, which it is a new client, just not the one he wants. Apparently, it's one of Monica's old usuals. That requires legal assistance because there is a possibility that he may be charged for a crime he didn't commit. And obviously, Wesley's like, well, we got to take paid work somewhere, so we best take up the deal when we can. So they head out there, and the guy is drunk, perfectly not even close to being remotely there. He admits that he had a party the night before. It was a rager. It was very, very fun. There was someone he kind of maybe got into some issues with, and right now the word on the street, he's missing, and they may look my way as a potential kidnapper or murderer. So I just need to protect myself here. That I won't get charged, and obviously, Monica says you're the best in the business, and then that's why I'm calling you. And they're like, well, okay, yeah, okay, well, at least right now, just stay put, don't do anything stupid, let's not cause any negative attention to come your way until we have to, but we just need to maintain that you are innocent, that you are still not with any malicious activity around you, and maybe it's better, just in case if something happens, just make sure that your entire house is safe and secure. And he's like, oh, no worry, I check all my house, don't worry, it's all good. He does another quick spot check, and then he opens up one of the doors, and he finds the guy that he was talking about dead on his bathroom floor, which he's like, so what happens if there is a dead body in my building, in my place of occupancy? What should I do? And they're like, well, technically, if he is not in need for medical attention, there would be nothing beneficial for you to call 911 right now. It would obviously be shady, but we're at the time period where, like, if there is a dead body in your bathroom, we need to act on this accordingly. Because obviously you will get questioned. We still need to report this in general. We just need to find the best way possible to maintain your neutrality in this matter before you're immediately convicted as a suspect. However, the man said, well, you know what? I'm ready to go to bed. So how about let me take a power nap and we'll reconvene on this once I'm a little bit more rested, and then for sure we'll go from there. And they're like, really? You want to take a nap now while there's a dead body in your bathroom? And he's like, yes, but y'all can't stay here. So y'all can go anywhere nearby, but in my property ain't gonna happen. So that's like wonderful. Just wonderful. And this is the same time where Lopez also gets the pickup of the tip of the missing person, and there was like a very bloody incident in the upstairs party room. She brings along Chen and Juarez to get the inspection going for the potential suspects, which is the same person that Wesley and his former boss are actually looking at. And of course, Wesley does his usual legal parameters of like, well, if you don't have a warrant, legally you can't come in. So all you have to do is just stand by for the warrant, and then you could be let in. And obviously Lopez is like, well, that's just lovely. Okay, we'll start the paperwork now, and we'll be back with a warrant. Which I'm like, yeah, Wesley, you are not getting late tonight. I'm just being completely transparent with you on that. I believe where we are here now to the next point is Monica's trying to, play the game. I forgot Wesley did call Monica to say like, okay, what's this client's deal? What is this thing? And Monica's like, nothing malicious about it. He just makes very stupid decisions, and he just needs legal counsel. It's literally a free payday. So if you keep him on your roster, yeah, you'll get some easy paydays from him. So just, do what you need to do on him. I vouch for him. He's not going to do anything shitty on your end. So don't worry about it. Monica is still in touch with those mysterious people from the communications episode. Apparently, she's been trying to get a new deal in works for them, and it's been very difficult considering the fact that the feds only give her a certain Skype in depending on her tips, and the illegal activity, the illegal criminals are very much anti-Monica because again she did snitch out previous criminals in the past. So not exactly anyone's on Team Monica right now, but Monica has a new swindle to play. She gets in touch with one of her contacts for the Big Boss organization, and she's pleading to him like, maybe, this is the time period where maybe you could cut a deal right now. It seems like the Empire is very weak right now, so if you do want to like hit it and quit it and make a good safety net, this would be your time. He's like, no, I don't believe you. We're fine. We're good to go. So no worries from you. But she instead tells Gray that I do have someone on this major organization. They're ready to flip. They're ready to make a meeting. You just need to sign off on it. I'll give you the tip, but I would like a six-figure pay sum for my tip. And Gray's like, well, that's a Garza-related question on your payment. So we'll see about that. Which I'm like, if Garza does not show up in these next two episodes, at some point, I'm gonna be mad. And this was Gray's only one of two scenes in the episode, which I was also very saddened by. Which Gray does fall for. He does meet up with the person. The person immediately calls his bluff, immediately leaves right away. And Monica's live streaming the whole thing as she meets up with the true Big Boss, letting him know, like, hey, look, your number two man is meeting with a well-known, now Feds associate official. So, is he the right person to trust for your organization? I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest with you. And he's like looking at the footage. He's looking at everything. The guy quickly knew this shit was happening, so he immediately speeds off to the meetup. Immediately, like as soon as he comes out of the car, do not believe a single thing this woman says. Which I'm like, dude, that's not the first thing you want to say as soon as you get out of the car. It's literally not helping your case. And he's looking at the footage. He's looking at him. He's looking at everything, and he's like, "Well, she does have a point. So why were you next to a Feds associate?" And he's like, "It was just a coincidence." Which I'm like, dude. And he's like, "Kill him." And he kills him right in front of Monica. 3 bullets. That's it. That's all he needed, and that was a wrap on him. Which Monica, I'm not sure you're in the right industry. I'm not sure you're playing your cards straight here. You're messing with real fire over here. Switching back over to Lopez and Bradford at the station, where Lopez needs to vent about Wesley, about just the case in general. But before that happens, Bradford gets a visit from his mom. Apparently, Ginny has left slip that Bradford... Okay, Jennifer fans, you may scream and elate. Bradford is ready to propose to Jen, which I'm like, okay. I mean, let's look at the time. You've known the woman for 5 years. You've dated the woman for like 2 years, give or take. On and off. There was a whole year in between where, you basically destroyed her trust and then, let her like having to like repair herself by herself. And then as soon as you ask her out again, you ask her to move in with you. Honestly, Bradford, I know when you know is a sure thing, go for it. But at the same time, I'm like, could have hold off on that a little bit. Could have hold off. But no, he's ready to propose. And obviously, like every mother does, it's like, I would love to give you my mom's ring, your grandma's ring. Give it to Lucy. And I thought, oh, that's so sweet. It's like a Spider-Man 3 moment where like Aunt May gives the ring to Peter to propose to MJ. This is so sweet, but there's only one problem. The ring is fugly. It's a very, very big ring, not in a good way. It's a very purple ring that literally Chen will probably say no matter how much he loves Bradford. It's not going to happen with that ring. It's not. But Bradford couldn't stomach the pain to, like, say no to his mom. So he accepts the ring, but now he's kind of screwed in the pooch, considering the fact that if he does not propose with this ring to Chen, he is also going to deal with an angry and very sad mom. That's when Lopez returns from the station ready to kind of yell over Wesley. Bradford raised to show her the ring. She's like, "Oh, finally, it's happening. Y'all gonna get proposed. We're gonna have a wedding next season. I'm so ready, and I'm ready for this wedding." And Bradford's like, "Relax, relax. This is just I am in the possibility of proposing to her, but this is definitely not the ring for her. Now I'm just stuck in the pooch because like my mom is like basically making me want to propose to her with this ring, which I know Chen will not accept this at all. She will not. Then a official of some department, the courts or something, aka Mr. Brian Sympathic, best known from the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and the Sweet Life on Deck, and he also briefly starred in his brief one episode pilot of Arwen. He was in a bunch. He's in a lot of kids television. To see him in like an adult oriented show, and not like that, but like an actual grown up show, it's like, it'd be weird. He's only in this one scene, but he's basically telling like, look, Glasser needs protection, and Bradford's like, fine, I'll give him protection. I'll shoot him Nolan and Penn, which I'm like, of all the people you got to throw his way, you got to pick those two. All right, to each their own. So we leave it like that. But that's when Bradford assigns Harper to handle the lead on potentially who could have been Glasser's potential assassin. Which, again, obviously to a right accord, Harper's like, you sure you want me to be running point on this? And he's like, yes. You will have no association with Glasser, so you will be fine for Liberty, and you are technically, this will be a good, I guess, image booster. In a very painful way speaking. So Nolan and Penn arrive for their station, for their duty for the rest of the shift, and they're like, really? You too? And he's like, yep. And it's like, oh, and then your first assignment will be taking us to the courthouse, because Liam has got a custody battle hearing today to attend, that he must attend to get his children back. Which are like, oh, hooray. Lovely and wonderful. They take them over to the courthouse. Liam's ex-wife and son is there. He's ready to embrace his son, but sadly, restraining order prohibits them from doing so. And specifically, it's only for the hearing, and that's it. Nothing else of the sort. So they head into the courtroom. Liam gives this very faux pas performance of saying that, I am a victim. Like, I have been accused of crimes that have not been committed. My whole life is ruined. It's destroyed, and my wife may be gone, but I just want time for my son. And you're letting the infactual nature of the LAPD basically determine my relationship with my son. So I need a chance to get back to which I'm like, Liam, you piece of crap. You deserve an Emmy at least. Just an Emmy. I'm not going to say an Oscar. But yeah, I'm just like, yeah. So, but then the judge is like, yeah, we're going too late into this. We'll resume this tomorrow. Which I'm like, bro, what were you doing? Like, I don't know. I may watch Madlock. I do watch some other legal show. I don't know how long this segment usually goes, but I'm like, are we just setting up the chessboard here for the jury, like for the trial? Like, it shouldn't take too much to do this. It should not. From there, I believe we are going to go towards, where do we go towards? I'm trying to remember, to be honest with you. I really am. Yeah, no, the trial ends, the preliminary hearing ends, and then from there, the Liam's ex-wife tries to pick up their son, but sadly the son's not there. Apparently another woman checked them out, claiming to be the mother itself. So obviously all of them are concerned, what the hell's going on? Is this related to the shooting? No one orders a lockdown of the whole facility. They look around trying to find him. Thankfully, very quickly they do. They just find him around the corner, but he's with Liam's new girlfriend, who claims that she's going to be the stepmom, so she might as well spend some quality time with him. Obviously, everyone kind of congregates on the area. Obviously, Liam's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for the confusion. This wasn't the plan. And Liam's ex-wife is like, oh, really? You're already dating someone already? Which I'm like, this is just a horrible scenario to be in. But before we get to the rest of the scene, Harper does nail down a lot of potential suspects. None of them want to talk to her. None of them even want to give her the light of day. So definitely finding a potential match is pretty difficult to say the least. Even chiming in with Bradford on the bullets, like, yeah, once they get the bullet matches, they'll basically narrow down the field a little bit more further. And that's when Bradford shows her the ring, and she also does the same thing. Yeah, Lucy ain't gonna accept that. You ain't not gonna get married to Lucy with that ring. And Bradford's like, I know, but like, what do I do now? I'm stuck with this ring. I have to give it to someone, or people are gonna get hurt. And Harper's like, well, sucks to be you. So I believe from there we kind of wrap a close on that specific night. Am I forgetting something? No, there was one more. There was a couple more things I remember. So that's when Harper chimes in to Nolan's like, hey, I'm just letting you know that the ballistics match to a weapon type that Liam's ex-wife just purchased not too long ago. So shifting the blame on her, which Harper does have a one-on-one meeting with her, and she immediately said, that's outrageous. Why would I risk trying to kill my ex-husband when we're in the middle of a trial, when there's so many eyes on him? Like, I'm not going to risk that. And she's like, I know, it's just the coincidental nature you buy the exact same gun type as the one that was being used to kill him. And she's like, I know, but I didn't kill him. I don't want to go out like that. I don't want to kill him. I don't want to kill the man despite all the pain he's caused. I just want to make sure that he'll never get to be around our children again. That's all I want to do. So why would I risk, even the shred of risk of potentially going to prison over a murder that, I don't want to commit? And Harper's like, look, I know what Liam's trying to play. Trust me. I was on the receiving end too. And I don't want you to lose either, like I did. I almost lost everything for him. But in this case, we are going to take things step by step, work with us, and we will do our best to help you out so Liam doesn't win in this regard. We cut to that night where I want to say Chen and Juarez are doing a stakeout of the house of the guy that that Wesley and his ex-boss were trying to look into. Wesley's just trying to end up the day, try to wrap it up as quick as possible, having a little banter with Lopez, and Lopez has actually gotten the warrant, and now Wesley's just very slow to respond. By the time they got there, they found the dead body already. They find him in the middle of butchering the entire evidence log, so that was wonderful to say the least. And now that he's behind custody, I'm like, well, that's his level. Y'all are really succeeding on your first days on the job, guys. You really are. They cut to the station and they try to get him to explain what is really going on. You've been sober for a couple hours. We need to know now. And he's like, okay. I made a lot of financial mistakes. I'm running out of cash. And an old friend of mine hit me up and said, look, I got a way to make us some fast cash. We're going to throw a party. We're going to find this a rich asshole that doesn't care about his money, doesn't care about his status. And from there, we are going to get that. He had a lot of Bitcoin. So we get the Bitcoin wallet password. We transfer them over. Boom, we're rich again. So that's all we need to do, which is what they did. But sadly, once it goes a little bit to a severe point, the guy leaves the party. What happens after that, he doesn't know. But again, obviously, it coincides back to the time he wakes up back at his house, having now found the body. So it was clear as day. And Wesley tries to tell him, you were swindled yourself. You literally let this guy come in, gave him all the opportunities in the world to not only commit the crime, but make you the fall guy. So he's already probably halfway across town or already out of the country by this point. We probably won't get to him anytime soon. But so the problem is you are here now. You partook in the crime, even if it wasn't the murder itself. You still partake. So the jury will see there's reasonable connection to suspect you as the murderer. So all you can do right now is just comply, and we will do our best to get you the best deal possible. That's all we can really do at the moment. I remember there was a scene with Nolan and Bailey earlier where Nolan's kind of feeling flabbergasted of the fact that he's basically, at the current moment, defending a man that's trying to take kids away from an innocent woman. And all Bailey can do is just comfort him, saying, look, it's just part of the job. All you can do is just keep doing your best and hope for the best. That's all you can really do as these situations will pop up from time to time. I believe we do cut to the next morning where Penn is taking Liam back to the courthouse for their follow up. Glasser like kind of trolling Penn of like, yeah, like, you know, how's Harper doing? What's she up to? And Penn's like, I ain't gonna tell you shit about her. Nolan driving in the front. Nolan gets a call from Harper or Lopez, one of those two, and I forgot already. That they actually found out who the shooter was. And so he was the son of one of the victims of Liam's. And not only did he buy a gun, just a regular pistol, he bought a shotgun, which is currently, you know, potentially might be, you know, currently in the area right now of the family court. Which as soon as they arrive, they find him, and I'm just like, it was about a shot. I ain't gonna lie to you about that. Completely unnecessary. He just dropped his cord like a slow motion, whips out the gun, ready to shoot. He misses Glasser again, shoots Pens in the recoil, and I'm like, you were. This was the pure example of like, you done fucked up. You had your chance. There is a real world similarity that just happened. I will not say it for out of respect, even if I'm not getting politics involved in here, but in general. But like, dude, the guy was literally right in front of you. You literally had no excuse in the world. Liam is chased by the guy. Nolan tries to follow him on foot as well, each maintaining a fair amount of distance from each other. Liam like managing to like get a little bit further away, but by the time he hits the food truck, the guy already cornered him. He's ready to kill him finally once and for all. But Nolan shoots him first, and then also Nolan gets hit as a result. But thankfully, he wore a bulletproof vest. So, no, we are not losing our favorite rookie in the world. We are not doing that, ladies and gentlemen. We are not. So that wraps to a wrap on Liam's point of view. You know, sadly, Nolan did take a bullet for Liam, and that was just, that was just wonderful as a result of it. Yeah, he's going to have to go down for remembering that. Having been taken to the hospital, Bailey comes to visit him. Obviously, just like, what's going on? Is like, I protected Liam. Part of the job. Not much I can do. And she's like, that's just wonderful. Well, you're going to be on bed rest for a week. You're not going to be out there. You're going to be resting whenever you get an opportunity. And that's that. And Nolan's like, 100% understood. We'll comply. I believe from there... Yeah, I mean, the last thing we're starting to wrap it up. Bradford does find a way to get out of the whole ring situation. Supposedly, if yes or no, whatever's true or not, he got the ring tested, and sadly, the ring is made of cut glass, so it's not a real jewelry item. And his mom is like, oh, so that's how that's how Dad got to be able to pay for the ring right out of high school. That makes sense. That all makes sense right now. And Bradford's like, as much as I would love to get it for Chen for a sentimental value, it's not a ring that deserves of what she is worth. And the mom's like, I know, I agree. And she shouldn't get this ring. You definitely should find a ring that would suit her better. Which they will so in due time. As Chen walks in on them and is like, what y'all talking about? Which I'm like, this is going to be a lovely back and forth for the next couple of weeks. Wesley and his ex-boss wrap up their essentially first case together for their firm. And he's like very neutral about it. He's like, well, wasn't what we were expecting, but if this is just part of the job, making these smaller impacts of like being able to go in there and tell someone what is right and wrong, and hopefully making an impact down the road or not. And they are looking into getting a prominent office space so that they don't have to work out of Wesley's dining room anymore. So there is progress on that front. And then I believe from there, trying to think if there's anything else I'm forgetting on the back end of it. Monica does finally get a pretty good payout, getting I guess the name she wanted from the guy. I'm not really sure why the significant is. I'm trying to remember the scene, and I don't remember anything. I think she was just trying to get a guy off the board and moving herself into the organization, which will not end well. It will not end well, but we will find out for sure next week. And from that being said, Nolan's finally recuperating properly at home. Bailey cooking him a very nice breakfast in bed. Him ready to take it easy, take it relax, but sadly, the lawyer for Liam's ex-wife calls him to let him know that sadly, she's not in the area for their court date, and that if she does not show up here by 2:00, she will immediately be arrested and she will forfeit her custodial rights, which will leave Liam as the sole custody owner of the children, which no one's like, that's just wonderful. And that was it for this week's episode of The Rookie. It was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I feel like, again, the storytelling nature of like going to tell a multiple part story again, after it's been a little bit of time, I think it was worth it. Getting to see Glasser take front and center, kind of essentially possibly being the final baddie for the season. Was interesting to see him playing now Mind Game with Nolan, which I'm like, not going to lie to you. Nolan gets a lot of the crazy ones. I kind of really wanted this to stay in Harper's territory, but it's fine for them to cross over. It's just I just don't like it. I'm just like, if it was like Nolan going up against Elijah, that would be like so forced and unnecessary. But yeah, no, seeing that storyline develop now, being in a very different direction for Liam is like, honestly, there's a lot of room to play with that one. I'm not gonna lie to you about it. Bradford finally making the move soon. I don't know how it's gonna wrap up. I really don't know. I'll be watching with y'all kind of live next week, so I can't wait to figure it all together and how the hell they're gonna leave off on a cliffhanger for season 9. I'm really much looking forward to that one, and it was just a very nice thing to see Tim get essentially a very weird quasi blessing from his mom about it. So definitely they'll be moving forward on that. So to speak. And then seeing Wesley, taking center lead kind of in this episode. Again, putting a lawyer and a firefighter in a cop show is questionable. Again, there's a lot you can play around with the formula there. Honestly, it was very fun to see, just them doing something differently and still connecting back to the main unit. It worked, and I'm like, I'm proud of them for doing so. Like, it made it more entertaining as a result. That it's not always just about the cops and the procedural stuff. There's other aspects of the business that not that many people like truly can rectify when they're watching one core aspect of it. So I do appreciate that from there. And overall, I just really did enjoy this episode. I really did. I think it's a true back to form for the Rookie after last week's kind of a little bit of a bummer. But now we get to move forward as a result of it, and hopefully it'll continue to pay off as we progress into the next 2 episodes. But with all that being said, I'm giving this episode 2 thumbs up. Let me know down below what did you think of this week's episode of The Rookie. Did you love it? Did you like it? Let me know down below. I would love to have a conversation with you about it. But I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 8th season of The Rookie. If you want to know what we're doing over What's the Two besides our Rookie episode reviews, right now we are doing Matlock episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on CBS. But if you don't care about The Rookie, you're in luck. We will be back in the next couple days with the penultimate episode review for season 8, and then at Tuesday or Wednesday of that week, we will also be doing the season finale for season 8 of The Rookie. So stay tuned for all that. The following week, you will get your season 9 predictions video, and then the week after that, a season 8 non-spoiler review for those who have yet to see and binge the 8th season of The Rookie, which will be fully available by Hulu by then. But I will be back in a couple days from now with the next Rookie review. But again, thank you so much for watching. This has been Joe here again from ActionX. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Like, favorite, share if you want to. Ring that bell and follow social media for more. But until we see each other again, thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, peace out.